They didn't want you to know these stories, but we're pulling them out of history's shadows. 11 lesser-known historical events that were buried, distorted, or erased. From forgotten rebellions to bizarre phenomena, these facts will blow your mind. Let's dive in. Number 1. The Dancing Plague of 1518. In July 1518, in Strasbourg, France, a woman named Frau Troffea started dancing in the street. She couldn't stop. Within days, dozens joined her, then hundreds, dancing uncontrollably for weeks. Over 400 people were affected, some collapsing from exhaustion, heart attacks, or strokes. Reports suggest up to 15 died daily at its peak. Authorities used music to try and soothe the dancers and hired professionals to guide them, but nothing worked. The cause remains unknown, with theories from mass hysteria to ergot poisoning, a fungus on rye causing hallucinations. Strasbourg's leaders downplayed the event, blaming it on hot blood or divine punishment to avoid panic and protect their reputation. Records were kept sparse and buried in local archives. This outbreak shows how fragile human behavior can be under stress. Number 2. The Great Emu War. In 1932, Australia declared war on emus. In Western Australia, 20,000 emus ravaged crops, devastating farmers after World War I. The government sent soldiers with machine guns to cull them. Major GPW Meredith led the charge, but the emus were too fast, scattering before bullets. After weeks, they killed fewer than 1,000 birds while losing ammo and pride. The campaign failed and the government hushed it up, omitting details from reports to avoid embarrassment. Farmers were left to fend for themselves and the story faded into obscurity. This absurd conflict shows how modern nations can stumble into ridiculous failures. Number 3. The Defenestration of Prague. On May 23, 1618, in Prague, Protestant nobles, furious with Catholic Habsburg rule, stormed Prague Castle. They threw 2 Catholic officials, Jaroslav Martinek and Vilém Slavata, plus their secretary, out a 70-foot-high window. All 3 survived, landing in a manure pile. Catholics claimed divine intervention, Protestants said luck. This sparked the 30 Years' War, killing millions across Europe. The Habsburgs minimized the event in records, framing it as a minor dispute to downplay Protestant defiance. The truth was obscured in chronicles, leaving this war trigger as a footnote. This act shows how one moment can ignite chaos. Number 4. The Toba supervolcano eruption. Around 74,000 years ago, the Toba caldera in Sumatra, Indonesia, erupted in one of history's largest volcanic events. It spewed ash across thousands of miles, found as far as Africa, and triggered a volcanic winter. Some scientists believe it reduced the human population to 3,000 to 10,000 people, nearly wiping us out. The event's scale was downplayed in early archaeological records because ancient humans left few written traces, and later societies had no context for such a catastrophe. Modern geology revealed its impact through ash layers and genetic studies. This loss of knowledge hid how close humanity came to extinction. Number 5. The State of Franklin. In 1784, settlers in what's now eastern Tennessee, frustrated by North Carolina's neglect, declared a new state called Franklin, named after Benjamin Franklin. They ran it as a republic for 4 years with their own governor and laws. But North Carolina and the US Congress refused to recognize it, fearing other breakaways. After conflicts with tribes and internal disputes, Franklin collapsed in 1789, and North Carolina retook the land, later ceding it to become Tennessee. Official records downplayed Franklin's existence to maintain federal unity, omitting it from most history books. This forgotten state shows how fragile early America was. Number 6. The Tanganyika laughter epidemic. In 1962, in a girls' school in Tanganyika, now Tanzania, 3 students started laughing uncontrollably. The laughter spread to over 1,000 people, mostly students, across villages, lasting months. Schools closed, and some suffered physical pain from prolonged laughter. No clear cause was found, possibly stress from colonial transitions or mass psychogenic illness. Local authorities suppressed reports to avoid ridicule and maintain control during Tanganyika's new independence. The event was barely documented outside local records, fading into obscurity. This epidemic shows how emotions can ripple through societies. Number 7. The Cadaver Synod. In 897 CE, Pope Stephen VI dug up the body of his predecessor, Pope Formosus, dead for 6 years, and put it on trial in Rome. Dressed in papal robes, the corpse was propped to a chair and accused of perjury and violating church law. Found guilty, Formosus' body was stripped, mutilated, and thrown into the Tiber River. The trial was a power play to discredit Formosus' allies during a chaotic church period. Later popes condemned the synod, and records were suppressed to protect the church's image. This spectacle was buried in Vatican archives, revealing papal politics' dark side. Number 8. The Great Molasses Flood. On January 15, 1919, in Boston, a 2.3 million gallon tank of molasses burst, sending a 25-foot wave of the sticky liquid through streets at 35 miles per hour. It killed 21 people, injured 150, and destroyed buildings. United States Industrial Alcohol blamed anarchists to avoid liability, but poor tank maintenance was the real cause. Courts and media downplayed the company's negligence, and the disaster was overshadowed by World War I's aftermath, fading from memory. This tragedy shows how corporate greed can hide deadly failures. Number 9. The Late Bronze Age Collapse. Around 1200 to 1150 BCE, civilizations across the eastern Mediterranean, Egypt, Mycenae, and Hittites crumbled in a mysterious collapse. Cities burned, trade stopped, and writing systems vanished, ushering in the Greek Dark Ages for 400 years. Theories point to invasions by sea peoples, earthquakes, or economic collapse, but no single cause explains it. Surviving records from Egypt and Mesopotamia glossed over the chaos to maintain royal prestige, leaving fragmented accounts. This loss of detail hid one of history's biggest societal resets. Number 10. The Khmer Rouge genocide scale. From 1975 to 1979, Pol Pot's Khmer Rouge in Cambodia killed 1.5 to 2 million people, nearly a quarter of the population, through starvation, forced labor, and executions. Intellectuals, minorities, and even glasses wearers were targeted. The regime destroyed records to hide the genocide's extent, and the international community, distracted by the Cold War, ignored early reports. Cambodia's government later downplayed the toll to stabilize the nation, and Pol Pot died in 1998 without trial. The full scale wasn't acknowledged until decades later, through survivor accounts and mass graves. This cover-up shielded a brutal regime's legacy. Number 11. The Mapuche Resistance. From the 1530s to the late 1800s, the Mapuche people in what's now Chile and Argentina resisted Spanish colonization longer than most indigenous groups in the Americas. They won battles like the 1598 Battle of Curalaba, and maintained independence until Chile and Argentina's campaigns in the 1880s. Spanish colonial reports minimized Mapuche victories to avoid inspiring rebellions, and later, Chilean and Argentine histories framed them as minor skirmishes to justify conquest. The Mapuche's prolonged resistance was buried in official narratives, overshadowing their military skill and cultural resilience. These 11 obscure events, from dancing plagues to forgotten resistances, show how power, shame, and neglect can bury history's wildest moments. Governments, companies, and societies hid these truths to protect their image or avoid chaos, but they shape our world in ways we're only now uncovering. Digging up these stories reveals what's possible today. Hit the like button if this blew your mind, share your thoughts on other hidden histories below, and subscribe for more truth bombs. Let's keep unearthing the facts that change everything.